Hello everyone, my name is Kotetsu4, and I am dressed as my avatar today for Purim, the Book of Esther holiday. There are a lot of things that I want to talk about for this holiday, and we're not going to get to all of them in this video. I struggled as it is to organize the thoughts that I am going to share today in a timely manner. I want to talk about Purim's connection to two things in the Torah, and these are Yom Kippur, that is the Day of Atonement, and the Fall of Man. I credit Aleph Beta, the Torah teaching website, for getting me thinking about these concepts and explaining to me a lot of the things that I am going to speed run through with you. You can find their more in-depth material linked in the description. There are several surprising connections between the Book of Esther and Yom Kippur. Just one example can be found when Queen Esther goes to ask the king to spare her people. All the Jews throughout Persia are in mortal peril, and that goes double for Esther because not only is she a Jew, but she's entering the king's inner court uninvited, and if the king doesn't accept her, she will be sentenced to death. Esther puts on her royal robes and goes to the inner court. The king does accept her, and from there, she enacts a two-dinner plan over which she convinces the king to spare first her, then her people. And when we look at the high priest's instructions for the Day of Atonement, we see that he is making atonement both for the entire nation of Israel and also for himself. And he is doubly in danger because if he enters the inner room of the tabernacle and isn't accepted by, well, the king, he will die, just like Aaron's first two sons. So he puts on his priestly robes and is accepted when he enters with the blood of two animals. That two dinners, two animals connection is speculatory on my part. And we can see that the Book of Esther is also deeply connected to the Garden of Eden story. Haman, like Adam, wants the one thing he can't have. For Adam, that's the fruit from the tree of knowledge, to be like God, knowing good and evil. For Haman, that's to be treated like the king by all. And when you think about it, aren't those kind of the same thing? Adam's wife is the one who offers him the fruit from the tree. And what does Haman's wife do? She suggests making a tree to hang Mordecai from. Then he'd have the one thing he can't have, the worship of everyone still living in the kingdom. And what actually happens as a result? Haman's death, hung on that very same tree, just like Adam's coveted tree introduced him to death. On Aleph Beta, Rabbi David Foreman suggests a further connection here, that the same story is being told with Esther and the king. In this case, Esther's true identity as a Jew is the one thing that the king can't have. When Esther asks the king to both dinners, and when she asks at the second dinner that she herself be spared, she says, "If it's good to the king," appealing to his desires, his personal sense of good and evil, rather than a moral sense. And she eventually gives him the one thing he can't have. But this time, it's with the permission of the same person who gave that rule in the first place. Then, Esther flips the script and begins speaking about morality. The plan to destroy the Jews is evil, she says. Not just unfavorable, but truly evil. And she asks not just if it's good to the king, but if it seems right, and if I, as a person, am good in your sight, save my people. And it works. I can't help but wonder if this is the equivalent of Eve feeding Adam fruit not from the tree of knowledge, but from the tree of life, giving him the true knowledge of good and evil. What this leaves us with, if I'm correct, is 3, even 4 stories about approaching the Almighty. Each one has a right way and a wrong way to do it. And if you're in Adam's position, are you going to pursue godhood at your own expense? Or are you going to be content with the many other trees you've been given? If you're in Eve's position, will you entertain Adam's selfish desires, or will you show him the truth? Do you dare to enter the holy place on your own time just to feel important? Or will you wait until the time that God appoints? There are more connections than just what I've shared today, of course. What I really should do is make a part 2 of this video to release on Easter, talking about how Jesus ties into all of this. Yeah. Yeah, stay tuned for that. But for now, that will be all. Hey guys, it's Argent, the part of Gotetsu 4 who thinks that one of every Pokemon should win against a billion lines, even if it's been proven otherwise. If you like this video, go ahead and click that thumbs up, and if you want to see more, then by all means subscribe, and we'll see you all again later.